A Therapeutic Tale, Return to Nursery. Written by Joanna Kochańska. Illustrated by Agnieszka Kochańska. English translation by Marta Maria Chmielowiec. Narrated by Marta Maria Chmielowiec. Tom got up feeling completely out of sorts. The day of his return to nursery has finally come. And staying home was so much fun. You could spend whole days with Mom and Dad. And even if they had to work a bit, they were still always there, right next to you. And now it was time to go back to the nursery. As soon as he woke up, he felt tears slowly welling up in his eyes. He was just about to start crying when suddenly he heard Mum's voice. "Good morning, love. How are you doing today?" said Mum and planted a big kiss right in the middle of his forehead. Tom loved those sweet kisses from Mum, and so he quickly forgot about his bad mood and immediately felt better. He got up slowly and toddled off to the kitchen. He saw that his smiley face bowl was already on the table, waiting for him with his favorite chocolate cornflakes with milk. The boy climbed onto the chair, sat down at the table, and was about to start eating when he suddenly remembered about having to go back to the nursery, and he somehow lost his appetite. "What's going on?" Mum crouched down, leaned over her son, and looked him in the eyes. "You not hungry?" she asked. "Or is it something else?" "Mom, Tom started timidly, but at once he felt it difficult to express himself, and so he bowed his head down. "I can see that you're having a hard time with something." His mum began to probe him gently. Tom saw that she was staring at him curiously with her blue eyes, and he felt that he could tell her what was really going on. "Mom, I don't want to go to the nursery," the boy blurted out, and once again he felt his eyes fill up with tears. I get it. It was fun when we could all just stay at home, right?" his mum asked. "Yes, it was!" exclaimed the little boy, snuggling into her as he felt that this was the only thing he needed right now. He was so sad. "I know, honey. I was also happy to just sit around at home all day. But the time has come for all of us to go back," his mum began explaining gently. "I understand you'd rather stay at home with us." The boy felt a little better, seeing that his mum understood what was going on. But he would still rather give her bear hugs all day long and just not go anywhere. "But you know what?" his mum slowly continued, and then she asked, "Can I tell you something?" The boy nodded. He knew that Mum could tell really cool fairy tales. Maybe she'll come up with something now. "Do you remember when we started going to nursery?" Tom slowly recalled his first days at preschool. "Yes, I was very little then," the boy said. "That's right. You weren't even tall enough back then to reach this chair. Daddy and I had to sit you in it." "Yes! And then you would do the airplane with me." The boy smiled to himself as he remembered how his parents sat him in the chair, counting down from 3 and pretending he was an airplane ready to take off. He thought then that he would fly up high in the sky. Exactly. Back then, the first days at nursery were also difficult, right? his mum continued.
Yes, I also had tears in my eyes and I was very, very sad.
Mum nodded her head. And do you remember what happened next?
Yes, then I cried a little bit when we entered the flower room and Miss Anya sat with me on the carpet.
The boy remembered Miss Anya with her curly hair.
I wonder how she is doing and whether she is still smiling as much as she used to. Does she sing the same songs at home as she does at the nursery? Probably so,
thought Tom. Yes, I remember that too. Miss Anya said that you were sometimes sad, but since you started playing with Bart, you grew to enjoy your time at the nursery, said Tom's mum.
Yes, and Bart and I put together our first super big tower made of blocks,
said Tom, feeling that his mood started to slowly shift and that his sadness was fading away.
Mom, but what about this virus? You know, you and Dad said it was here, but now it's flown somewhere else. And is this why we're going back to nursery and to work?
No, honey, but we all are doing our best to make sure that it doesn't get to us. Just like we did at home. That's why we wash our hands and we wear our face masks. The ladies at the nursery will also speak with you today about what to do to keep the virus away from the nursery as well.
I can say to it, shoo, shoo virus!
Tom shouted eagerly. He was very proud of his idea, especially as he saw Mum smile. Yes, you can, but it is also important to wash your hands carefully and listen to what the ladies at the nursery say to you. You will be able to continue having fun and playing, but it might be a little different than before.
I will wash my hands, Mummy, and I will listen to Miss Anya. I'll also tell her about all the drawings we made when she was giving us those tasks from the computer. And I'll tell her all about the great big snowman we made for Christmas.
I think she'll be very happy to hear about it all, said Mum with a smile. So are we good? Do you want to eat up your cornflakes?
Yes, I'll eat the whole bowlful. Mom, and what about Mr. Sadness? What if he comes again? Should I tell him, shoo, shoo, like to the virus?
I think you can try to play something you like, and then Mr. Sadness will probably go away again. And when I come to pick you up, we'll go home and we'll play your favorite game. What do you say? Said Mum, stroking her little boy's head.
I will lay that on the table so he can wait for us here,
said the boy, toddling off to his room to get his favorite game, the speeding trains.